Today, we're going to roll up our sleeves and build a genuinely practical generative AI tool, something that automates a task every single DevOps engineer knows, probably a little too well. We're moving beyond just playing with AI chatbots and actually building a real automator that you can plug right into your daily workflow. So, here's the game plan. We'll kick things off by defining the problem we're solving with our Dockerfile automator. Then we're going to tackle the most critical decision you'll make, choosing your AI engine. We'll walk through the two main paths, the local approach and the hosted approach, and then we'll wrap it all up by talking about why this skill is, and I'm not kidding, a genuine superpower. All right, first up, the Dockerfile automator. Let's get right into the problem that we are going to make disappear. If you're a developer or you work in DevOps, you know this feeling deep in your bones. A new microservice pops up, it's in a different language, and you're back at square one, writing another Docker file from scratch. It's so repetitive, and honestly, it's the perfect kind of task for automation to just take over. Now, imagine this instead. You have a simple script. A developer on your team just types in the language they're using, Java, Rust, maybe even something like Ruby, and boom, out pops a complete production-ready Docker file that follows all the best practices. That's the goal here, to turn that tedious manual work into a single, simple command. So the obvious question is, why not just use something like ChatGPT? Well, there are two big roadblocks. First, you can't really automate a web UI and build it into a professional CICD pipeline. And maybe more importantly, a lot of companies block these public tools because of major security and data privacy concerns. That means we need something better, something more professional and integrated. And that brings us right to the heart of our project, choosing the AI engine. This is, without a doubt, the most important decision you'll make. It's going to shape everything, how your tool works, how secure it is, and how you're going to scale it later on. The brain behind this whole thing is what's called a large language model, or LLM for short. All you really need to know is that it's a super powerful AI that's been trained on just an insane amount of text and code from the internet. It gets context, it can follow instructions, and it can generate exactly what we're asking for. In our case, a perfectly formatted Docker file. Now, when it comes to actually using an LLM, you've basically got two main paths to go down. You can run it locally on your own machines, your own infrastructure, or you can use a hosted service from a big provider like Google or OpenAI. And each path has some pretty significant trade-offs. A great way to think about this is like choosing between a private and a public cloud. With a local LLM, you get maximum security. Your data, your prompts, nothing ever leaves your servers. But you're on the hook for managing the infrastructure. With a hosted LLM, there is zero maintenance. It's just a simple API call. But you're sending your data to a third party, and you're going to pay for what you use, usually based on something called tokens, which are just little pieces of words. So let's dig into that first option, the local approach. This is the go-to path for any team where data privacy and security are just non-negotiable. Probably the easiest way to get up and running with LLMs locally is with a fantastic tool called Allama. And this quote just says it all. Allama is like Docker for LLMs. It's the perfect analogy. Just like Docker lets you Docker pull and run a container, Allama lets you Allama pull and run a powerful AI model right there on your own machine. And the workflow is just beautifully simple. Seriously, step one, you install the Allama tool. Step two, use one command to pull a model, like Meta's awesome Llama model. And that's it, you're ready to go. Step three is just running your Python script to talk to the AI, running right in your own environment. The script itself is also super simple. You just import the Allama package, you cook up a really detailed prompt that tells the model exactly what you want it to do, you make the API call to your local model, and then you just grab the response and there's your Docker file. It's that easy. Okay, so that was path number one. Now for our second option, the hosted approach. This is for when you just want to get started like right now and not have to worry about servers or GPUs or any of that infrastructure management headache. So let's go back to our cloud analogy. Using a hosted LLM from a provider like Google is exactly like using a service from AWS or Azure. You don't care about the servers under the hood. You just need an API key and you can get access to a massive, powerful model on demand. And here's a fantastic way to get your feet wet. Google AI Studio is actually offering a free API key for its Gemini model right now. This is huge. It means you can build a completely functional automator using a truly state-of-the-art model without paying a dime to get started. And what's really cool is that the script for the hosted approach is almost identical to the local one. You import Google's package instead of Allama's, you set it up with your API key, but the core logic, writing a good prompt and making the API call, it's exactly the same. Which means once you learn this pattern, you can swap between local, hosted, whatever you want really easily. So we've built a tool, we've looked at two ways to power it, but let's zoom out. What's the big picture here? This isn't just about Docker files. This is about unlocking a brand new kind of automation superpower. Think about what you can do now. You can automate pretty much any repetitive text-based task you can think of. Generating Kubernetes manifests, writing Terraform modules, you name it. You now understand the critical trade-offs between local and hosted AI. And most importantly, you've made that leap from just being a user of AI to being a builder of custom, secure AI tools for your team. And that's the question I really want to leave you with. You've seen the pattern, you get the components, you understand the trade-offs. The only limit now is your imagination. So, what's that next tedious, text-based task in your workflow that you're going to automate away?